Welcome, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today. It's wonderful to have you with us for the virtual version of Marine Week. For now, I'm going to hand over to our great speakers today who are joining us from uShaka. So we're going to hear from them, and then we'll move on to a Q&A period after that.
Okay, hello, everybody. My name is Zama, and I'm with Sane. We are both going to be talking about sharks today. And we are going to be explaining to you all about sharks. So Sane will do the first part of sharks, which she's going to be telling you all the amazing facts about sharks. And I'll be doing the last part, which is talking about how we can save sharks and what the threats of sharks are and what we can do to make sure that they are saved out in the oceans.
Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you all today. I'm happy to have you guys. And I hope we're going to learn a lot about sharks today.
Thank you.
At SAMBRA, we have 3 divisions. We have Oceanographic Research Institute. We also have uShaka SeaWorld. I work for the 3rd division, which is called uShaka SeaWorld, which is where we are right now. At uShaka SeaWorld, we do a lot of educating different people that come to our site. We educate the guests that come to the park. We educate them about marine animals that we have. We also have a lot of school groups that visit us here on site. Today, we're going to be learning a lot about sharks. I know some of you love sharks. Some of you don't love sharks, but it's okay. If you don't love sharks, it's okay. I'm sure you do have a favorite animal that you love. Sharks are my favorite animals. I love them so much. And they're amazing animals. There's so much to learn about sharks. When you are grouping different animals in different groups, you'll put sharks in the fish family. And there are 2 types of fish. There are cartilaginous fish, which are the sharks and stingrays, and there are bony fish, which are all the other fish that we have seen before. They are called bony fish because they have a true skeleton, and the skin is covered by scales. Sharks are cartilaginous fish because the skeleton is made of cartilage. So they have a very soft skeleton, and that they can swim around in a short distance because they have that soft and flexible skeleton. So the skin of a shark, I don't know if there's any of you who have ever touched a shark skin before. I have it with me. This is a piece of a reggae-tooth shark. This was donated, guys. We didn't kill any shark. So this skin of a shark, when you are touching the shark body, you want to touch from the head down to the tail, because when you touch from the tail up, that can cut your fingers. Simply because instead of having normal scales on the skin, sharks have teeth. They have microscopic teeth, and those teeth are all facing one way. They're facing backward, and that helps sharks to swim faster in the water. It also makes them silent swimmers. And you know what? In the olden days, the skin of a shark was used as sandpaper. So they have those tiny teeth, and those teeth that covers the shark skin, they are made up of the same material that makes our teeth, which is called dentin. And as I said, you'll put sharks together with stingrays. So those are all classified as cartilaginous fish. The other fish, the scales are also facing backward. I don't know if you have noticed. Next time you look on the fish body, just notice which side the scales are facing it, because that helps the fish to swim faster in the water. And those scales are made up of the same material that makes our hair and our nails, which is dentin. And when you look at the shark's teeth, I have a jaw with me. This one is from a Zambezi shark, also known as bull sharks. When you look at the shark's mouth, you notice that they have so many rows of teeth, but they don't use all of them at the same time. So they only use the front row. And if they lose a tooth from the front row, the tooth from the second row will replace it. And remember, I told you about the cartilaginous skeleton that they have? That's why they keep on losing the teeth all the time. And they can lose about 1,000 teeth in the lifetime. So I'm going to show you some of the shark species that we have here at uShaka SeaWorld, just to give an idea of what to see next time you visit us. You'll be able to see different species of sharks. And out in the ocean, remember, sharks live at different depth of the ocean, so they're adapted to live in that particular area in the ocean. And this one is a ragged-toothed shark. Ragged-toothed sharks are slow swimming sharks. Guys, you can tell a difference between a slow swimming shark and a fast swimming shark. It's very easy. If you look on those top dorsal fins, those two fins right on top of the shark body, they are known as dorsal fins. And if those fins are equal, it means that shark is a slow swimmer. And this one, as I said, is a ragged-toothed shark, which is one of the sharks that we have here in the aquarium. So they don't need a much bigger space like other species of sharks. So this one is a ragged-toothed shark. We have 5 of them in our exhibit. We have 4 girls and 1 boy. I don't know if there's any of you who like to know, how can you tell a difference between a male and a female shark? It's very easy, guys. If you look underneath the shark body, you might see 2 tubular structures under the tail. So those are male external reproductive organs for sharks. So if they don't have those external reproductive organs under the tail, it is a female shark. Remember, sharks, they practice internal fertilization. Some of them will give birth to live babies, and some of them will lay eggs. So I'm going to show you some of the sharks that we have here that lay eggs, and ragged-toothed sharks, they give birth to 2 live babies after a gestation period of 9 to 12 months. So guys, when you're talking about gestation period, we're just talking about how long do they carry the babies for. And remember, when you talk about sharks, different species of sharks, they have different gestation period. So some of them will give birth to live babies, but not all of them will have a gestation period of 9 to 12 months. So it's just how long do they carry the babies for. But remember, a shark, because a shark is a fish, they don't look after the babies. There's no parental care out there in the ocean. So after the shark have given birth, the babies will fend for themselves. And sometimes you'll find that bigger sharks will even eat those baby sharks. It's tough out there. Look on the gills of the shark. So that makes them fish, because those are one of the characteristics of a fish. They have gills on each side of the body, and they have a lateral line. So that's one of the things that makes sharks a fish. So on this picture, we're looking at the 2 species of sharks that we have. We have a gray reef shark on my left-hand side, and we have a silver-tip shark on my right-hand side. So these are the sharks that swim very fast in the ocean. These ones are still smaller, so they don't need much bigger space for now, but as they grow older, we do release them back in the wild. And these ones are fast swimming sharks. Look on those 2 dorsal fins right on the back. The one in front is much bigger than the one at the back. So these ones are fast swimmers. And then these are some of our slow swimmers. I don't know if you guys know, some of the sharks sleep during the day and they're more active at night. So that is called nocturnal. So we have some of the sharks in here at uShaka SeaWorld that sleep during the day and they are more active at night. So because they are fed during the day, they do wake up and they get fed, and after that, they'll spend most of the time sleeping. So on the top left-hand corner, you see a picture of a shark, which is known as a zebra shark. You might ask yourself why they call zebra sharks, because they don't look like zebras. These sharks, when they're babies, when they're juveniles, they will have stripes all around the bodies, but if they grow older, they lose those stripes and they will have spots instead. Some people call them leopard sharks. And then the next one on the top left and right-hand corner, we're looking at the shark, which is known as a tawny nest shark or a sleeper shark. It is also one of the sharks that is not as a nocturnal shark. And these sharks, they feed on the seabed out in the ocean. They have tiny sharp teeth that they use to crush and to grind. So not all sharks are dangerous to humans, and not all of them feed on bigger animals. Some of them will eat animals like crabs and snails that will be on the sea floor. And at the bottom, we have a picture of a white-tip reef shark, which is also one of the sharks that swim very slowly in the ocean. They don't really get very big. Some of them can get to about 2 meters in length when they are fully grown. And then these are some of the example of the sharks that don't get very big. On this picture, you're looking at the sharks which belong to the cat shark family. On the top left-hand corner, we're looking at shark with the stripes. That's called a pajama cat shark. It's called a pajama cat shark or a striped cat shark. And on my right-hand side, on the corner, we're looking at a shark which is called a leopard cat shark. So these are the sharks that lay eggs. At the bottom, we're looking at the picture of a shark egg case. I also have another one with me. These are known as mermaid purse. So the sharks will attach these egg cases on the seaweed and they just leave them there. Inside, the embryo will feed off the yolk inside while it's still developing. So it's like a chicken egg. It feeds off that yolk for nourishment, and that takes about 6 to 12 months. And once the baby is fully developed, it just bites and swim out. See, that's why I love sharks. They are amazing animals. So the cat sharks are found in cold water. So you'll find them on the West Coast in Cape Town. So these cat sharks in our aquarium, they are found in an exhibit which is called a cold water exhibit. We have to chill the water for them, and they spend most of the time sleeping here. So you have to look very closely in the exhibit to find them, because sometimes they do blend very well with the rocks that we have in the exhibit. Okay, guys, I'm going to hand you over to Zama, my colleague, and she'll take from here, and then she'll tell you all about these amazing animals.
Okay, so how is everybody doing? My name is Zama, as Sane has already introduced me. Starting now, we are looking at the shark threats. So looking at the types of fishing that they use that cause a lot of threat to sharks. We're starting off with pelagic long line fishing, which is a very long line that can be as long as 45 kilometers. That is a very long line. So they use this line to target fish that will be sold commercially out in supermarkets, and then also like in restaurants. And these kind of fish will be things like tuna. So if you look on this long line, you'll see that it's got those yellow dots, and those are the floaters. So that allows the line to stay floating out in the sea. So when you're looking at this picture as well, you can see that there's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sharks that have been caught as bycatch with this long line, and we don't want to see these animals dying out there. So this is one of the methods that is not so 100% good to use when fishermen are using to catch fish that they will be selling to restaurants or supermarkets out there. So the next one is midwater trawl, which is also a problem to fish and sharks, because when they are catching animals using this big trawl net, which will be mid-water, so it will be targeting fish that are swimming midway in the ocean, sharks that are swimming midway in the ocean. So that is going to be sharks that are in open waters. And these kind of sharks are the ones that are mainly targeted with this kind of net. And then litter and sharks. So you guys do know, maybe you've seen litter lying around all around our areas. Even if you're living inland, litter is going to be a problem. Visiting the ocean, you will always see litter. And this is actually just giving you a picture of what we have collected out on the beach. This was like 2 weeks back. And as you can see, there's little tiny whitish things in this basket. And those tiny things are called nurdles. So what is a nurdle? It's like a tiny piece of plastic that is used to manufacture different plastic products. And when these are found floating in the ocean, they are going to be eaten by a lot of tiny creatures, things like shrimps. And when these shrimps are eating this tiny nurdle, it's going to be eaten by a fish like a sardine. And then when the sardine has eaten this fish, it's going to be eaten by tuna. And then after that, who feeds on tuna? Tuna is going to be eaten by sharks. And then at the end of the day, these sharks are getting plastic in their system. So that is actually a very wrong thing, because these sharks are dying slowly because of this plastic. So we really, really need to make sure that whatever we do does not end up affecting these animals. So we need to make sure that we clean after ourselves and making sure that the animals are always safe. Okay, so this is just some of the pictures that show you how these sharks get to be entangled. So basically what we're looking at is a strapping band on the left-hand side. And that is a band that's usually used to strap up bait boxes, things like sardine boxes. It will definitely be a threat to animals like sharks, because it will just go around their body. And just when the animal grows bigger with this strapping band, it's gonna be a problem, because the shark can even end up dying because of that. It doesn't give it enough room for growth. So that's how they become a threat to the sharks. And then the entanglement, this side, the fishing line that has been just wrapped around the coral, you will notice that will be exactly the same thing that will happen to sharks out in the ocean if ever they do come across these discarded fishing lines. Okay, so now we're looking at the picture of a mistaken identity. So how sharks do come to mistake humans or surfers out in the ocean. So we're looking at the surfer, we're looking at the seal being the food for sharks. And obviously the surfer just happened to be around that area where the shark is hunting. Because remember, they can't really see what it is. It does look the same as their food. So it will be a thing of the sharks end up biting, which is not something they intend on doing. So because people often feel scared of sharks out in the ocean, they will then target them, and they will be using them and killing them, just catching them out of the ocean. And that's why they are actually becoming a threat, because there's high numbers of these sharks that are being caught out in the ocean. So what we can do to help save these beautiful creatures or these amazing sharks, we can always join beach cleanups when they are happening around our areas or around our beaches where we live by, or otherwise we can simply just join a river cleanup, because remember, rivers join into the ocean. So if we don't clean our rivers, that means that our oceans are going to be packed with litter. And also something you can do using less single-use plastics. And instead of using that, encouraging your parents to go, when they're going shopping, they can just take one reusable bag with them, which is going to be amazing, because that's just reducing the amount of plastic we're using. And also on the school ground, encouraging the little ones, including you guys, so that they can see you doing it. Picking up litter around whenever you're having chips or sweets, make sure that doesn't end up on the ground, but it ends up in the bin. And eating less seafood. Yes, I know you guys love your seafood, but try not to eat it every single day. Maybe once a month will be amazing if you guys just choose to, like, okay, mommy, this month, can we just eat maybe like 2 fish? Not a lot, because we're trying to save our animals out in the ocean. We are trying to save the food that the sharks eat. And that is why we need to make sure that we're eating less food all the time. I hope you enjoyed that. So now It's going to be question time. So thank you, everybody, and looking forward to taking those questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Zama and Sane. It was really, really interesting to hear all about the sharks. I hope everyone enjoyed that. I see we have had a few questions come through in the Q&A so far. The first one that we have here is, what is a lateral line? So I know, Sane, I know it was in your section of the presentation. Would you mind maybe just chatting a little bit about where one could find the lateral line in the shark?
Hi guys, thank you very much for joining us once again. Guys, just to clarify the difference between scales on the bony fish and the teeth that covers the shark skin. So the teeth that covers the shark skin are made of dentin, just like our teeth, and the scales on the bony fish body are made up of keratin, which is similar to the nails in our hair. Okay, thank you for your question, Philippa. You asked what is a lateral line. A lateral line is a line on the fish body, whether it's a shark or a bony fish. It runs across the shark body. So from the head to the tail. And this line is very important because it helps sharks to sense any vibrations in the water. So it helps them to be able to sense if there is any animal that is struggling to swim around in the water, where they can go and feed on them. And I'm sure you have seen that sharks or bony fish, they don't bump to each other. That is because of this lateral line. It helps them to sense what is around, what is moving around them. So that's what a lateral line is. And the second question, Zama will answer it.
Okay, the second question that we have here is, do sharks' teeth fall out like humans' teeth do?
Okay, Philippa, so thank you so much for that second question, a very interesting one. So definitely shark teeth will fall off. And the reason behind that is because they have a cartilaginous jaw. So their jaw is not a bone like humans' jaw, which is our jaw is more like a bone, which if we lose our teeth, as the older we get, our teeth will not grow back. But with sharks, they will definitely grow them back because of having that cartilaginous jaw. And when they lose a tooth, so like with this jaw here, if it happens that they're biting onto their food and they lose a tooth or two from the front row of their teeth, because if you're looking here for this one, they've got like 5 rows of teeth. They're using the first 2 rows. And if ever anything falls off from those first 2 rows, then they're able to shift the teeth at the back of those rows to the front and replace whichever gap that tooth might have fallen from. And then they will definitely grow the new ones at the back of their jaw, and that's when they will be able to know that they always have teeth, because they need those teeth to hunt. Otherwise, if they lose a tooth and it doesn't grow back, then they've got nothing to use when it comes to hunting and finding their food or eating their food. Thank you. That was a very interesting one.
Okay, that leads us on to the next question, which is, are all sharks predators? I'm not sure who.
Predators.
Yeah. Whoever would like to answer.
Most of them are predators. So
Okay.
when you are building a marine food chain, the sharks will be on top. So because they are apex predators, they feed on different species of animals in the ocean. So most of them are predators, yes. But as I mentioned earlier on, not all of them are dangerous to humans. So some of them will just feed on crabs, which are very tiny animals, yeah.
Okay. Okay, and then what is the most dangerous shark?
What is the most dangerous shark? The fast swimmers, like the great white sharks, the Zambezi sharks, those sharks, they are the one that swims on the surface and they are fast swimmers. So they are the one that have the ability to find a lot of animals which will be on the surface. So yeah, I could just say that. Maybe Zama will add on that.
Yeah, just to add to that, we can say they are dangerous, but it also not to humans, I would say, because if we as humans are out there in the ocean, we shouldn't be going too close to where they are swimming. And if it happens that we end up being too close to where they are swimming, it will be just because maybe they might take a bite, since they will think that we are one of the animals that they are hunting for out in the ocean. It's not an intended bite, but it's just because they feel like they're hunting around that space, and we so happen to be around that space. And it's not going to be something they would like at the end of the day if they end up taking that bite from us. They don't like us at all.
Definitely. And I mean, so you shouldn't really go swimming near a seal colony or anything like that if there's sharks in the water.
So you shouldn't, and you should know when to swim as well. Don't swim too early in the morning and too late in the afternoon, because that's when the animals or the sharks are hunting. So we need to give them their time as well to enjoy themselves and have those times to hunt and respect the ocean for them as well.
Okay. And then what is the biggest shark?
It's a whale shark. They can get up to 18 meters in length, but they only feed on plankton, which are those tiny microscopic animals. So as big as they are, but they'll only eat on tiny animals. Yeah.
Okay. And I'm guessing that's why maybe not so many people know about them, because they're not, they're not the big ones, the big dangerous ones that you hear about. They're more sort of gentle giants.
Yes, and they belong to the shark family, although they are called whale sharks.
Okay. And then what happens if sharks move backwards through the water? Because I know there's a bit of a, not an urban myth, but what would happen to a shark? Is it capable of swimming backwards, or would water then go into its gills? What would happen?
Definitely the water will go through the gills, so they won't survive if they have to swim backwards.
Okay. And then, I see we're slightly running out of time, but I don't see any major unanswered questions in the Q&A box or in the chat. But if anyone does have anyone's at a later time, you're welcome to email those through to us, and we can pass them along and get your answer back to you. But I think let's just close off with one question, which is for both of you, for Sane and for Zama. Which are your favorite sharks and why?
My favorite sharks are reggaeton sharks.
Okay, why?
Because these sharks, they look so fierce, and they only very docile animals. So, and the fact that they give birth to 2 live babies after a gestation period of 9 to 12 months, that's amazing to me. It's just like, it's similar to humans. And yeah, they are one of those sharks that are able to give birth to 2 live babies because they have 2 uterus. So they are my favorite sharks.
They do sound very unique. Wow.
Okay, my favorite one is, even though it was very hard to choose, because I'm like, with sharks, I can just go with any shark, but I will choose the cat sharks. Okay. So the cat sharks, which in particular, this will be the pajama cat shark. And if you think of pajamas, striped pajamas, gray and light gray and dark gray, that kind of coloration on their body. And just simply because they're not big sharks, they only grow up to 1 meter. And they are nocturnal as well, meaning that they are active at night. So that's their hunting times, and they simply know that that's less predators, and that's why they'll wake up during those times of the night and go around looking for their food. And I just like the way they also so protective when it comes to laying their eggs out in the ocean, and also being found in cooler waters or cold waters. So they usually, when they're laying their eggs, they hide them in between the sea plants. and they tie the egg cases onto the seed plant, which is quite amazing, so that it doesn't get washed around with currents and it's not seen by predators that easily as well. So they are just interesting sharks.
Definitely very interesting options. Okay, I see that we have gone a little bit over time, but if anyone does have any questions, you're welcome to send those through and we can pass them along after today's session. Or if anyone's watching the recording and you want to send through a question, please feel free to email those through and we'll pass them along. For now, I think we can close off the session here for today. Thank you everyone for joining us. It was really great to have you here, and I hope that you're all able to join for our final webinar tomorrow on sea anemones. You can find the link to register on the SST events page. And then a special thank you to our two speakers today. Sane and Zama, thank you so much for all the time you took to put together the presentation and to join us today. It was really, really interesting. So to you and the whole Sambra team, it was we really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Tara. Thank you for giving us the opportunity, guys. We really enjoyed ourselves. And thank you. And I hope our kids were listening very well as well. Thank you so much.
And come and say hello to us when you come down to Devon in the aquarium, when you see us around.
Definitely. Thank you, everyone. And hope to see you tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
No worries. Thank you too.
Bye.
Bye.